Music. For me, it's an endless journey, discovering new sounds, new melodies, and exploring cultures. My new creative project was to continue this journey and create a series of compositions that are inspired by flamenco, Latin, and Indian rhythms, while staying true to my classical piano roots. And along the way, also explore some jazz harmony. With this, Odyssey was born. Different to my first album, Amalgamation, my new Odyssey album, it's a collection of pieces composed for a consistent lineup. We have piano, string quartet, cajon, tabla, and percussion. One of my tracks from the first album, Piano Dance, is scored for piano, cello, and cajon. And I really enjoy the combination of sounds and performing this piece live. So I thought, how can I expand this piece and explore more of this type of music? So instead of just having cello, I replaced it with a string quartet, and then I added a tabla to the rhythm section to join the cajon. And then we have the sound of Odyssey. So the composition process for Odyssey generally started with me improvising on the piano, either coming up with chord progressions or with some new melodies. While I was doing this, though, I always had a particular rhythm in mind. So this might have been a flamenco rhythm or an Indian rhythm that would accompany the particular improvisation that I'll be going through. Some pieces even started with the rhythm. For example, my track Tresqua started with the cajon groove, and then I built all of the melodic structures and different parts just based on that one groove. From there, I would then go and start thinking of the string parts. Initially on the piano, working out some counter melodies or some of the inner voices. And then eventually I'd go to the computer using the software and I'd score pretty much note for all the 4 string players, and then eventually give that to them to play their parts. Also, a lot of these songs and improvisations tell a story. They tell a deep story, of different emotions, and they create different images when I'm improvising. So that also affected the composition process. My influences and inspirations for this album span a large variety of music, and I do a lot of different types of listening. However, for this album, it's actually people, the musicians I work with, which are my biggest influence. Sharing the stage with these musicians inspires a constant flow of ideas and how to create new music. Listening to how they play and connect with their instruments on a deep level, and combine my passion of piano and world rhythms with the instruments that they play. Another influence for this new music is one of my favorite pieces by Beethoven. And in one of my practice sessions one day, I was looping a section, and then I really decided I liked this particular phrase. So this part of Sonata in F from Beethoven became the musical seed for me to develop a whole new set of chord progressions and melodies based off that little tiny idea. The album was all recorded in my home studio where I grew up in Catherine Springfield Studios. It was great to be able to invite all the musicians here to record their parts and grow some more memories here in this studio. I also performed a lot of auxiliary percussion on the album. For me, I love all the hidden sounds in a piece of music. Sounds like bongos, shakers, triangles, rain sticks, cowbells, and all different types of cymbals. If you listen to a piece of music, you may not even notice that these sounds exist. But if you remove them, you realize something is missing. It's like the invisible glue that holds the track together. feel very fortunate to be able to have such world-class musicians perform with me on this record. Firstly, on tabla, we have Maharshi Raval. He's a true guru on the instrument. I've collaborated with Maharshi on many different projects over the years, and it was great to have him on Odyssey. On this record, the tabla either mimics what the Cajon's playing with variations to sort of enhance the groove, or it plays a totally new rhythm, sort of creating a dialogue, like a conversation between both instruments. Then we have the members of the string quartet. Firstly, Anna Murakawa on the violin. She recently moved to Australia from Brazil to continue her really impressive violin career, and it was great to have her on the project. Also on the violin, we have Yuhki Mayne, an extremely versatile musician. I saw Yuhki performing live once, and I knew that one day we would have the chance to collaborate together. On viola, we have Marianne Yeomans, who's one of the core members of the Brandenburg Orchestra here in Sydney. During one of the sessions, Marianne explained that she loves to play the viola because she loves the inner voices. And after hearing her record her parts, she really makes those inner voices sing. The last member of the string quartet, on the cello, Damian Smith. I've known Damian for years and collaborated with him on many other projects, and his playing really inspires me to write for the string quartet on this album. With my passion for flamenco and this genre being such a large influence on the album, I decided I would have to feature a flamenco guitarist on the album. I decided to ask my good friend and fellow musician, Paco Lara, to guest on one of the tracks. I recently met Paco, and he moved to Australia not long ago from Jerez, which is the cradle of flamenco in the south of Spain. Australia is really lucky to have someone like Paco, and he really brought a lot of passion to this track. Played a lot of beautiful improvised melodies, a great solo, and lots of nice flamenco rhythms to bring some spice to this track. Thank you to all the amazing musicians that recorded on this journey with me to create Odyssey. Thank you also to Damian and Maria for helping me mix the album, and to Carlito and Danny for helping me produce this video. Making this album, Odyssey, was a great journey for me to explore many new cultures, the rhythms of these cultures, and to put these rhythms and melodies on different array of instruments. When you listen to the music, I really hope that you can hear these cultures and enjoy how the instruments are talking to each other and the stories that I evoke for you as you listen. Thank you very much. Byron Mark. Enjoy Odyssey.